Woohoo! Aloha Friday, my friends. Gee-hoo! This is Billy Wiggly coming at you live from the Ninth Island, Las Vegas, Nevada. Aloha, my friends. How's everybody doing so far today? Are we ready to rock? Are we ready to learn, get ourselves some Excel skills? And what we're going to do today is this is going to be quick. This is going to be brief. It's going to be 8 secrets in Excel. And just so you know, I have the spreadsheet. If you just look inside the description, whatever platform you're on, there's a description, and inside the description you'll have the link to download this file that we're using right here. And in the chat, let's see if I can put the link in there, and I'll put the link in the chat in just a moment. Let me go ahead and grab it. I've got the shortcut right over here. Let me copy it. And my friends, whoop, whoop, there it goes in the chat for you. All right, everybody. So let's get ready to rock. Let's get ready to get ourselves some skills, some Excel skills. So let me go right ahead and share the screen with you. Woohoo! Here we go. This is an Excel spreadsheet. This is the file that you can download right there in the chat. I just put in the shortcut or the link to take you to download this file so that you can follow along or you can check it out later. It's pretty cool how all the different things that you can do in Excel. I mean, just looking at this file itself, just this workbook, just analyze and see how all of the things were done. Like, for example, the instructions right here, 8 secrets in Excel. Well, where does that come from? Well, if we look at the name box, the name box is telling us that that is in A3, which happens to be this cell right there. And they have that's A1, that's A2, and that's A3. A3 says 8 secrets in Excel. And right there on A1, this cell right up here, look, they've put in all these instructions. So that's just really cool things that you can learn. That's not what this workshop is about. However, I just want you to pay attention to the workbook, how it was designed. Like, for example, we'll see right here, this is a link. It's a hyperlink. Click let's go, and boom, it takes us to the first lesson. So here we are in the first lesson, my friends, and here's a shortcut to select rows or columns. So let's say that you are already in the cell, like in this cell where I'm at right now, for example. Right inside that cell, and I want to select the row, I can just press Shift and the space bar. You see that? I'm going to do that one more time. If I press the Shift key and the space bar, it selects that row. Now watch this. I'm inside that cell. If I press Control and the space bar, Control, space bar, it selects the column. So Shift, space bar selects a row. Control, space bar selects a column wherever your marquee is placed. And remember, in this case, the marquee was right there. Now let's move on to the next one. Woohoo! This is good. Now to insert or delete a column or a row. So let's say I want to insert a row. You don't have to select a row where you want to insert, like right here, I just selected right there. Normally we can select a row right there, and then we right click, and then we can insert, right? That's one way to insert a row, but this is about shortcuts. So you can select a row and press Control plus and insert the row. Control minus takes out that row. Well, you don't have to click on the row heading. You can just, wherever your marquee is. So right now I'm going to put my marquee right here in this cell. This is D7 right here. How do I know it's D7? Because Excel is telling me right here in the name box that my marquee is in cell D7 right now. So now that I'm in cell D7, I can just press Control plus, and look, it inserted a row. So you don't have to necessarily select the header, the row header. For example, row 7, you can just select a row, just put your marquee wherever you're at. I want to take out that row. So I put my marquee in the row that I want to take out. Right there's my marquee. And then I press Control minus. Boom, it's gone. Just like that. Woohoo! All right, let's move on. So one more time, really quickly. Wherever you place your marquee, Control plus, insert a row. Control minus removes it. Let's move on next over to move or copy a column or row of data. Now, I'm going to take this column of data right here, and I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to move it right over here. So that's easy. So I can just select it and then I can just grab it anywhere. Watch, I can just grab it. See how that cross changes? Whoops. Well, Control Z to undo. Grab it and then just be careful where I put it. Boom, right there. That's one way to move your data around. Control Z, Control 4 to get out of there. Control Z to undo again. So these are universal shortcuts that they're trying to show us right here. The Control X, Control C, Control V. You probably already know those, right? So let's say I just want to take this entire range. Watch this. I put my marquee. Watch this. I'm getting too excited now. I'm putting my marquee right there in D8, right there. And I press the Control key and the Shift key, Control Shift, and then the arrow down. Boom. Just made that selection right there. So that's just another quick little trick for you. So I have my marquee right here on D8, right there. I know it's D8 because the name box, it's telling me that that is D8. So I put my marquee on D8. If I just press the control and the arrow down, it just moves down to the next empty cell, the marquee. If I press the shift and arrow down, it starts to select as I press the arrow down. So now I'm just going to press the control and the shift at the same time to navigate to my last empty cell while selecting. Boom, there we go. And I just selected. Now I'm going to press Control X to, whoops, Control Z, escape. Select this range of data, Control X to cut, place my marquee where I want to paste, and then I press Control. Whoops, we're in the wrong one over here. What's going on here? Ah, there we go. All right, back in the right place. So I select that range of data, Control X to cut it, put my marquee where I want to paste, and Control V, boom, pasted it like that. Now to undo, it's Control Z, Control Z, boom. To undo, to redo, it's Control Y, Y, Z, Z, boom, just like that. So remember, you can just grab a selection and move it over, or you can use your universal shortcuts. Number 4, the AutoSum shortcut. Check it out. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to show you here besides the AutoSum. So I put my marquee right here where I want the results to go, right there. And I'm just going to press Alt plus equal, this one right here. That's a shortcut to AutoSum. And another way to know is, well, since it's Aloha Friday, let me teach you a Hawaiian word. Maka. Maka. Maka means eyes. So you should always open your maka when you're looking in Excel, because Excel tells us a lot of things. Like if I go right up to my ribbon, look up here, and I hover over the AutoSum right there tells me that the shortcut to the AutoSum is Alt equal. So open the mock and Excel will tell you a lot of things. So now let me get out of here, and I'm going to put my marquee where I want the results to go. So I'm putting my marquee right here because I want to sum this entire range of data. So I put my marquee where I want the answer to go, and I press Alt equal, and look at that. Boom, the sum function has been added. Or I could have just done this. Select both cells where I want to put the sum function into. Now I press, what's the shortcut? Alt equal. Boom, and now I just summed those two columns. Now check this out. I just want to sum just these two numbers right there. And then I press Alt equal, and it, boom, spits out the results right down here. All right. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this magic happening again. Let's say I just want to sum these two numbers right there. So I select those two numbers and I press, what's the shortcut to sum? Alt equal, boom, there he goes. And it spit out the result right there of the sum of these two. And if we just look at the formula itself, it tells us, there you have it. Boom. Now, watch this. If I just wanted to sum just those four numbers right there, I just press select them and then press Alt equal, and there we have it. Now, here's something else that's pretty cool. It's called the status bar. Now, you see right here, whoops, right here, that's the status bar, okay? Let me highlight this for you. The status bar right here. And you can customize the status bar. It's always going to give you the answer for whatever selection you're making. So let's say I just select these two numbers right here, these two numbers. We know that the sum of those two numbers is that, right? All right. So let's go right over here to the status bar and look at the sum of the selection. It was 13,968. Now let's go right down here and take a look at the sum on our status bar. So the status bar is a pretty nifty little tool. And remember, you can always right click on the status bar and you've got a whole lot of options available to you right there. All right, my friends, let's keep on rolling. Now we know the auto sum, all equal. Now number 5, add or average cells. And here I got ahead of myself because what they're teaching us is that you can just make a selection, like for example, those two numbers, and then we can just head right down, select these two cells right there, and then we can just head right back down to the status bar, and it's giving us, oh, I don't have a sum here. Why is that? Or I mean, I don't have an average. Why do I not have an average in my status bar? Because I didn't select that option. So let me go down to the status bar. All right. So you see, I am right in the status bar right there. You see me? Okay. So I'm going to right click on the status bar. Just to be clear, this is the status bar right here. All right. And I'm going to right click on the status bar. When in doubt, right click. Nothing happens, left click. Nothing happens, check your options. In this case, status bar, right click. And now look at that right there. The average was not selected. All right, so let's select it. So right click. Somebody's got their Bluetooth around here that keeps trying to connect to. Let's fix that. Let's just turn off the Bluetooth on my computer. So I right click on the status bar and I turn on the average, click, boom, and there it is. And we can even see that it's giving us a result already right there. So let me escape right out of here. And now look what we got right there, my friends. The average. So we customize the status bar. There's a whole lot more going on with your status bar. Remember to right click on it. Let's go to number 6. After number 6, number 7, number 8, and then we're done. So let's go to add a chart. This is a quick one. Always make sure that your marquee is in the data. Here, we're going to put our marquee right in that data right there. Put the marquee in the data and then press Alt F1. So when you press Alt F1, it puts your default chart into the same sheet, default chart into the same sheet. And now when you have a chart, if you go right up to your ribbon, you see that you now have what are called chart tools right there. And when you go to the chart tools, you've got all your different designs that you can check out and your formats. And then you can go, hey, look, I want to change these colors. Look at that. Make it pretty. All right, so you got options. So Alt F1 inserts the chart into the same worksheet. Let me give you another bonus, and that's F11. So I put my marquee inside the data, and I press F11. So when you press F11, it puts your default chart on a separate worksheet. Now, Alt F1 puts your chart into the same worksheet. So here we go one more time. Alt F1, boom. Default chart into the same worksheet. Now, number 7, to adjust columns to fit the data. I think we all know how to do this probably. And if we don't, hey, no one knows everything there is to know about Excel. Nobody. And if anybody ever tells you, oh, I know everything there is to know about Excel, well, right then you know they don't, because no one knows everything there is to know about Excel. So we've got these numbers right here that are displaying. Okay. Okay, there we go. So if I hover over them, Excel gives me a pop-up tip that tells you, what are the contents of that cell. You see that? The little tool tip or pop-up tip. Boom. All right. But the reason why we're seeing these hash marks is why? You can type in the chat. Yes, because there's not enough space. The contents of the column exceed the width of the column. All right, so here we go. We just have to go right up here in between the cells right there. I mean, in between the columns, and then we just double click and it auto fits it. Click, click, boom, auto fitted it just for us, just like that. All right. Now, if you want to auto fit a bunch of columns at once, you can just select a bunch of columns at once. So let's say these are all, kind of like out of whack like that. We can just select the ones that we want to auto fit and then just double click right in between the columns, and it applies that to our entire selection. And here we go for the final. You hung in there. You were strong. And here we have it, the final tip to get your career rolling. Here it is. Oh, and remember, my friends, let me give you another quick shortcut to check out, because this is important right here. This is important. I've got a bunch of workshops that I put together and a whole course on shortcuts, tips, and tricks. It's in the top 3% of all Excel courses. And so what I'm doing is I put together a really super cool, super special offer for you that's really growing. And let me go right ahead and put the link right in here for you. I'm putting it in the chat. Bam, there you have it. Go check it out. And now we're going to finish strong right now with adding a line break. In other words, that's called text wrapping. Okay. So what we've got here is product sales northeast. And what that is let me show you how they did this. All right. So here we go. We have this data in that cell. And if you look up here at your alignment group, it's wrap text. So let me click on there and unwrap that text. So what we're doing is we're typing right inside this cell. And because the contents of that cell exceed the cell, they're all in that cell, but there's something inside this cell. So because there's something in this cell, we can't see the overflow of it, what's in this cell. However, if we do go up to the formula bar, in the formula bar, it shows us the contents of the cell. So the contents of this cell are displayed in the formula bar right up there. So we can easily just say, hey, product sales right here, right after sales. We can just press the Alt and the Enter. Alt, Enter. Delete that little space right there. Delete it again. Whoops. Boom. And there you have it. That Alt Enter, what Alt Enter actually does is that's a shortcut to enable the wrap text. And that's how you can insert line breaks. Alt Enter. And that's it, my friends. So it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy your Friday. And remember to go check out Don't Get Mad, Get Skills. Let me bring you right over here so that you can go check out my Excel Easy, that shortcut that I just gave you, that I have set up for you. And it's a really great way for you to just spend 37 bucks and get yourself some skills. All righty, my friends, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. And as you always hear me say, I love you. And most of all, keep on learning and don't get mad. Get skills, my friends. Aloha.